Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm your journalist slash host, Corial Cooper with Sheen Magazine. Here with me today, I have Miss Solandia Hammond, better known as sueham, and you are watching us live. Miss Sue, it's incredible to know everything that you've been doing, from your playwrights, your acting, being an author. Tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who are new to you, where you're from, and a little bit about your story.
Cool. First of all, let me just say that Coriel is a dope name. All right.
Thank you.
And kudos to you for getting the first name, Solandia, right? Most people can't get that
I
right.
better get it right.
And also, thank you for having me on your platform. I appreciate the opportunity to inspire people, and being here with you today affords me that opportunity. So, thank you.
It is an honor to even have you give me the blessing to be here. So thank you.
Of course, of course. Well, a little bit about me. I am a lover of God and of people, of course, a lover of the arts. I'm a storyteller. Definitely love inspiring people to be their best selves so they can do better and have better. Former Marine, mother of three. I am also a GG, grandmother of a 2 year old.
All right.
Yeah, vibrant, energetic, brilliant 2 year old who thinks he can outsmart everyone. And I'm active in my community and real estate investor and a councilwoman.
Jesus. I'm coming back to take some of these courses that you're teaching because I know there's a lot to be learned here. So, for you, how did this all get started?
Wow. Well, I've always wanted to be an actress ever since I was a child. I started writing, I think, about 12, 13 years old. I never thought my writing was any good, so I always hid it. But growing up in Williamsburg County, it's a rural place, which you're very much aware of. Not very much opportunity to act on stage. So instead of acting on stage, I actually joined the Marine Corps at 18 years old. And so I went off to the Marine Corps, did almost 9 years there. And the acting bug never left me. That creative bug never left me. So I was telling everybody, goodbye. I'm leaving the Corps. Next time you see me, I'll be famous. I'll be in Hollywood. That did not happen. I got a job, and it didn't matter what else I did. I still wanted to act, and so I came back home in 2003. And I realized that if I was going to be on stage and be able to bring stories to life, it would be up to me to create it. So I'm hoping that anyone who's listening to this or watching to this, that you take note of that. You have to create your way sometimes. So I actually wrote a stage play, and my producing partner and I, we produced it here in Williamsburg County, and it just took off from there. We produced a play in 2008. We did it a month later in 2009, and then 2011. And then in 2015, we were going hard consistently, doing 2 and 3 shows a year, different shows. So we weren't producing the same shows. Yeah, he actually challenged me to write something different. And it kept the audience engaged. It kept them interested. And of course, then COVID hits and it kind of shut the door on thing. And so I pivoted back into something I picked up in 2006, which was real estate. And I started getting heavy into real estate investing again.
Okay. Well, I do want to back up and say a delay is not a denial.
Come on,
I
somebody.
know you said that it didn't happen. It just didn't happen when you wanted it to happen.
Absolutely.
But as you can see, it happened. It happened.
Absolutely.
And definitely want to say thank you for your service.
Mm.
That is something new that I learned about you as well. What was that like, being in the service, serving your country? I know you kept everybody rolling out there.
Yeah, it's so crazy. No matter where I go, I'm gonna be a clown. That's just who I am. That's who God created me to be. It was amazing because, being from a small place where the population is like 70, 75% African American, it wasn't like I was exposed to Asian Americans, Hispanics, or a lot of Caucasians. So being in the military, it afforded me that opportunity to link up with brothers and sisters from different backgrounds and different upbringing and different cultures. And it allowed me to travel, which is something I always dreamed about because I'm an avid reader. And so I always use my imagination to pretend I was somewhere else because around here, there's trees, and more trees.
Yes.
So being the Marine Corps helped to take my discipline to a new level. Now, my dad was prior military, so he didn't play with us. But the military actually built upon what he instilled in me. I was able to actually meet some great people, learn about teamwork, see the world, make some money. And it was a great experience. I realized that this world is bigger, and that everyone in your circle, in your town, that does not mean that that's who everyone in the world is like. Because a lot of times, we stereotype people and we say that this person's like this because that's all we're exposed to.
Right.
So the Marine Corps taught me that exposure is significant.
Was it a culture shock for you?
No, it wasn't. For me, I've always wanted to learn new things and see new things and be with new people. So for me, it was exciting. My dad was a drill sergeant. Okay. My dad was a strict disciplinarian. So for me, boot camp, 3 months of boot camp with females yelling in my face was like a cakewalk. And then after, boot camp, I loved being competitive, being physical. I love using my intellectual to be competitive. So, and just being able to work with a team, that to me was just amazing. I think the hardest part for me was swim qual. Ooh. Yeah, that was very terrifying. And so for me in boot camp, in order for me to get through that, every night I would go into the we called it the head. It was the restroom, and fill the sink with water and put my head underwater to get myself comfortable with being underwater. Because otherwise, if I didn't pass swim qual, I was going to have to go back home and tell everybody I failed Marine Corps boot camp. And they were already thinking, oh, you're a woman, you're not going to make it anyways. And I surely was not going to let that be the case.
I know that's right. Wow. I can't imagine. So you did this every night, like.
Oh, yeah.
Geez.
So I had to get comfortable with the water. It was a mind over matter thing. And I was just like, I'm not going back home a failure. This is the only thing that's stopping me. I'm not afraid to shoot the weapon. I can run, the 3, 4, 5 miles. I can hike with the pack on my back, in my boots, with my weapon in my hand. I'm not going to let water be the reason.
And I'm going to let some water?
Right. I'm not going to be able to do it.
I hear you. So when you retired from the service, did you retire?
No, I did almost 9 years.
Okay. So
decided I needed to pursue acting and everything, and got a job.
I know that's right. Taking another step back, were you here in King Street? Like you said, it's predominantly African American. Mm-hmm. And I know there were some amazing teachers as well. Did you have people who fed into your creativity here to help that inner being that wanted to just jump out into acting? What was there a feeding of that?
At the time of growing up, no. Because, I graduated high school in 92. So the thing of that time frame was you had to be in New York or California in order to be in acting. And when you told people back in the day that you wanted to pursue something in acting or entertainment, they look at you like you were crazy. Mm-hmm. You had to go to college and be something else, or you had to go to the military. So there were no mentors there. And I think that's the reason why I went into the military and started really trying to pursue it. And the second thing was I didn't want to go to college. I was like, I want to make money. I want to travel. I want to do what I love. Right. So if I'm not doing the acting thing, then the only thing that's going to afford me this opportunity to at least get some of the things I desire was the Marine Corps. Now, when I came back home in 2003, I didn't immediately start doing plays. I actually launched our first play in 2008. And what I can tell you, I didn't have mentors again. The way I learned the business was I started going to other professional stage plays that came within an hour. And I was sitting in the audience instead of really enjoying the show. I was watching the show, taking notes, trying to figure out what are they doing behind stage? How are they doing this? And I would, go to like gospel shows singing and scope out bands and be like, you're going to be in my stage play. You're going to play for me. But there was no class. There was no Facebook. So there were no Facebook groups to partake in. Okay. I didn't know about any books. So it was a trial and error thing. And most of the things in my life have been trial and error. But now that we have social media and we have all these courses and we have all these people readily available, people don't have to do a lot of trial and error. There are mentors. So in the beginning, no mentors. However, I will say that my community rallied behind me. They saw what we were trying to do. They supported us. They sponsored us. They encouraged us. They donated time. They donated money. And we were able to make some amazing things happen. And I got to say this. I'm so excited because the majority of our shows or with people from the immediate area. Our set designer, Ronnie Cobb, from King Street, South Carolina. You look at his set design, I mean, he's unmatched. Our actors from Williamsburg County, and you can see all that on our website. If I go and start naming all our actors, we'll be here all day. But we try to use people that are local, because I realize that when I was growing up, I wish there was a platform for me. I wish there were acting classes. I wish there was a play or a film, or more importantly now, someone to teach us behind the camera, because it's not always about the longevity is behind the camera. You know, camera operators, sound engineers, writers, directors, producers. And I wish I'd had that knowledge. And so because there was a void, and I learned how to do those things, I decided, hey, why not provide that service here in Williamsburg County for someone who may be growing up wishing that was there. Well, now we're here.
You've done a lot, definitely.
Through the grace of God.
Amen to that. All praises go to him first and foremost.
Come on, somebody.
Yes, ma'am. So what else would you say contributed to the journey of becoming sueham?
Definitely my parents. I am of the belief that you know, I know that God gives us free will, but I do believe that there's a destiny for our life.
Amen.
So you can venture off of that destiny because of free will, or you can align with that destiny and really accomplish the things that you were created to do. So definitely my parents, definitely the desire that God put in me, allowing faith to take over fear. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I don't. I still have fear, but I execute in spite of, you know. My teachers growing up, I'll never forget my teachers and my parents. You know, you're from this area. You know, they tell us manners will take you further than money. And I live by that. And manners and skills have opened the door for me. So community members, even to the point where people in Hollywood, I've been able to, you know, just be able to touch bases with them, and they're opening doors for me. I thank God. I thank God for a lot of local people, media people here, people that just share my stuff on social media. It's like if I go into names, I'm going to leave somebody out. But my community, Williamsburg County, I will never, ever be able to repay you for the support, the love, and guidance that you guys give us. I do not take that for granted, because there have been times I only had $5 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? $5, and somebody will reach out and send a donation. There's been times I just want to give up, and somebody will send a word to me and encourage me. And so I will never get the big head. I will never say I'm self-made. You've never, ever hear me say that. I will never, ever say that. I don't believe anybody's self-made, because along the way, somebody helped you on your journey. So
contributed in some form or fashion.
Absolutely.
And I remember when we went to see the airing of Almost Christmas, and just how you had all of us and are just waiting for the film to play and waiting to see you. You were like, that's me. So I mean, just to speak on that for a little bit, no matter how big or small the role may be, please share with our readers how important it is to just be accepting and humble of those experiences.
Well, first of all, you're not going to be given a lot if you can't do a lot with a little. And so David E. Talbot blessed me with a featured extra role in Almost Christmas. And I'm telling you, it was almost like I was about to win an Oscar. The way the town represented me, the way David represented me, the way it was amazing. He was sharing me all on his social media platforms. He was calling me out in his actors workshop classes. And to David and Lynn Talbot, I will forever be indebted to you. I thank you. But, you know, that did so much for me. Being from Williamsburg County, again, I keep saying that because you guys do the research, you'll see it's a small rural place.
Very small.
We got big land mass, about 932 square miles, but it's a small place. Basically trees, you know? And so, but I'm thankful for that because it heightened my imagination. But when one is living in a place like that and you have aspirations to work with people in Hollywood, you know, sometimes your light can dim, sometimes your hope can dim. And so what David and Lynn Talbot did for me by giving me that role, by allowing me to be on their social media platforms, by acknowledging me in Hollywood. I actually went to the premiere of the movie in Hollywood. And when David got up there and he said my name, I want to especially thank Sueham And I was like, whoa, I got goosebumps right now. It did so much for my confidence. It did so much with just helping to build, on what I wanted to do. So I'm a firm believer in you will never get a lot unless you can do a lot with the little. So,
I'm
so,
telling you.
so get started and be thankful for everything that you have. Everybody wants to, I'm just going to say musicians. Everybody wants to sell 1 million records out the gate. Listen, everybody, for me, when I put my stuff on DVD, I want to, ideally, yes, I want to sell 1 million DVDs. But if I sell one, I'm happy, because do you know that people do not have to exchange their money for your product? So when you get one person wanting to exchange your money for your product or your service, you should be thankful.
Be grateful.
And when when you have gratitude, you're going to just go to a different altitude, which is just going to magnify the income that you got coming in.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And let's talk about working with David Talbert. That, correct me if I'm wrong, opened the door and the opportunity of working with Steve Harvey, and you've got a chance to be a part of his platform twice.
Well, actually, those were kind of different. They didn't connect the two, but it's just amazing how God just works it out, because it came like back to back almost. I actually did a video. And this is why I always encourage people to use social media and use their cell phones. You have money in your hand. I did a video with me beatboxing, playing around, and I uploaded it about a year before it actually went viral. A year later, it went viral. It hit World Star. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to inbox the Steve Harvey show, and I'm going to send them my video and see if they'll let me be on TV. Okay. That was it. They had a tab that says be a guest on the Steve Harvey show. I sent them the video from World Star Hip Hop, and I had a producer calling me 20, 30 minutes later asking me to be on the show.
Look at God. Talk about lining up with your gift.
I didn't make the show with the beatboxing video. She told me it had to go through 2 more producers. It did, and they shot it down. Mm-hmm. So they said, keep in touch. Send us some more stuff, maybe, who knows. And I was just thinking, oh, yeah, that's just producer bull crap. Right. You're trying to let me down easily. I'm good. You can tell me no. I'm going to keep going. Your no don't stop me. But I did what she said. I kept in touch. So I started sending her more videos of me doing motivational speaking, more videos of me doing a little bit of acting and everything. And then 2 years later, I get a call from the Steve Harvey show. And they said, hey, we know you applied. They were like 2 months ago. It was actually 2 years ago to be on the show. We would like for you to be on the show now. And so now I'm in a different, mindset. Right. And I'm like, is it for the beatboxing? And they were like,
no, she didn't.
Because here's another lesson. Because I didn't want to go viral or be put on a national platform as a Steve Harvey show for beatboxing, right, because my business model had changed. And they were like, no, we've been watching your stuff, your YouTube, your website. That's another lesson. Get a YouTube, get a website. And we see that you do so much more. Mm-hmm. So we'd kind of like for you to come on and give advice. And I was like, whoo. They were like, we have to vet you. To get on this particular episode, we're going to vet you really hard, because we're not just letting anybody on. Next thing I know, they've said, hey, we're going to put you on the show. We're going to give you tickets. We'll have transportation lined up, hotels lined up for you. Boom. Did the show. As Maurice and my sister and I, Shanika Hammond Brown, were walking out, I said to them, I'm going to be back. 2 months later, I get a call. This time, I'm closer to the stage. My green room is bigger. And I'm closer to Steve, and I got back on the show. So, from Williamsburg County, baby.
Okay. You better tell them. We growing. We are growing.
Yeah.
Reaching out. And see, I used to love watching him growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That was my TV dad.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looked up to Bill Cosby. When Bill Cosby was no more, I used to love watching the Steve Harvey show. That was my thing.
Steve is the man.
Now, my next biggest celebrity dad,
mm-hmm.
E.T.
The hip hop preacher.
You better say that. I love E.T. I love listening to his podcast. Mm-hmm. I love listening to the guys, just how they got started, because they always bring up the experience that they went through, from having everybody tell them no for their free events.
Yep.
The schools not wanting them to come in and talk about what they wanted to teach the kids. Yep. And I just love to see how excited he gets when he speaks. It sounds aggressive, but it's love. And I guess because I grew up in an environment where people spoke that way.
Right.
So what was that like working with or interviewing E.T.?
Yeah. That was in 2012. I think that was before E.T. was E.T. like people knew him.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, his video had taken off and went viral with How Bad Do You Want It? Do You Want It As Bad As You Want to Breathe? And yeah. And again, I have to just highlight Maurice Perkins because he's been so instrumental in helping me to achieve the success I have today. And he said to me, you need to interview E.T. And I'm like, who's an E.T.? I'm thinking about the movie,
I figured you were going to say that.
And he said, no, listen to this guy. So I'm listening to him. I was like, oh, I like this, And he said, you need to reach out to him and see if you can interview him. And in my mind, I'm never thinking, oh, no, this person is too big or this person is too busy. I never shoot myself down. I said, okay.
Now, that's a blessing. And we need to take that, Jim.
Yeah, because we talk ourselves out of blessings. We talk ourselves out of our promotions, opportunities, out of income. Go do it. So I, once again, went to social media, inboxed him, and they obliged me. And I interviewed E.T. the hip hop preacher in 2012. At the time, I had a radio show on 105.1, and I was able to interview him. And then later, I think it was like in 2017 or 18, I actually met him in person at one of his events. So that was amazing for me.
I think I'd cry if I met E.T. Like, he's one of the, whenever I think of E.T., and I hope it doesn't sound creepy or weird to say this, but I think of, if this were my dad growing up, I can't imagine where I would be, like, constantly giving you that consistent, tough love.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yes, definitely. I mean, you've done so much. You've gone so far, like you said, to be from Williamsburg County.
Yeah. Well, we talked before the interview, and we were just saying how people will use excuses as to why they can't accomplish things. Mm-hmm. Listen, I was never put in bondage. I've never been raped. I've never been beaten. I've never been sold. I've never been kidnapped. So I've never been homeless. So if I've never endured any of these things, what excuses can I use? Because I know plenty of people that have endured these things and they are highly successful. So I think we need to stop. I think we need to stop excusing ourselves from success. You know what I'm saying? We can always say, oh, whoa, it's me. And I'm not saying that you don't have it bad. Right. Trust me, because I've had it bad. I've had it to where the light's been turned off, the water's been turned off, where I've been foreclosed upon, where I've been repoed. I've had that. I've had the trials and tribulations with my children. I've had that. But at the end of the day, we have to make a decision, a conscious and a subconscious decision that we are going to just persevere through it in order to accomplish that goal that we have.
I agree with you there 100%. I know, just to take a moment and say that I can definitely relate. I lost my first corporate job in 2017, and I was distraught. I had given that job 110% of myself. I literally cried. I went through every emotion there was. And God spoke to me one night, just sitting, and he was like, look at what you've done. Mm-hmm. And I used to keep my scorecards from work because, when you're working corporate, they grade you on different things, what you're doing. And I literally watched how I made this bank $100,000 before my 1 year mark with them. I had gotten a promotion before my 1 year mark, but the department I was promoted to was like crabs in a barrel. So I won't say I wasn't ready, but that experience taught me that this is not my end all be all. You got to get out of here. You're out of here for a reason. And I'm like, well, if I can do this for a corporation where I've had absolutely no experience in what I was doing, they had to train me and teach me, surely I can go out here and make a stand on what I love to do, what I have knowledge and experience very little in, but more than what I had in this company. I can do this for myself.
What does Ash Cash always say? Bars. Bars.
You listen, I love Ash. Shout out to Ash Cash.
Yes, we love you, Ash Cash.
Yes, Earn Your Leisure. All of these platforms out here who teach us the way. They bring on people to teach you how to do these things. If they don't know how to do it, they bring people to teach you how to do it. So definitely in agreement with what you're saying. There's no excuse to it. Steve Harvey has definitely been a big motivation to me. Whenever I feel down, it's always a blessing to see a video or something come by of him. And he talked about when he was doing comedy, how he was living out of his car.
Absolutely.
One of his episodes that I saw, or one of the pieces that I saw of him, was where he spoke on an opportunity that came. He got a call to go do a comedy show. He didn't have any money.
Yep.
I think it was like $150 they were going to pay him to do something if he could get there. And he was like, well, God, how am I going to get there? He checks his voicemail. There's another call there that's like, hey, Steve, we have this opportunity. We want to pay you this. And he's like, things were just lining up for him. So you're praying for something else when God already has this available to you. And all you got to do is push through. If you can get to it, he'll get you through it.
Yeah, there's life in movement. I mean, when you have surgery, the first thing they tell you to do is walk, circulation, movement.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a time to be still, but there's also a great time to move. And I think that's the problem with a lot of us is that we expect things to just drop in our laps. And the thing that's dropping into your lap is the idea. Now you got to execute, which means move your body.
Steve says, write the vision, make it plain. And the Bible tells us that write the vision and make it plain. So, wow. So this has definitely been, I feel at home. I'm going to tell you that now.
Well, good.
If anybody gets the opportunity to meet Miss Sueham, nothing but love. Her environment is nothing but love. You got to come out, check her out here in Williamsburg County. I'm sure. Do you still do plays?
Yes, we do. You know, in the midst of COVID, we're kind of shut down right now, but we're praying that we can do a show the end of this year. If not the end of this year, then the beginning of 2023. But stage plays are it's my heart. We do have a short film coming out that we're working on, King and King Street, but telling how Dr. King actually came to King Street, South Carolina in 1966.
I heard that story.
Right. But didn't teach us that growing up. But he was here in King Street in 1966, spoke to 5,000 people. So we're going to do a film highlighting that and just showing how important Williamsburg County is that he took the time to come here.
Please, definitely. Yeah. I can't wait for you to post this so that I can come back home.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
We'll definitely be doing some showings. So we want to go out to the schools, show all the schools. We want to do a premiere, everything. So
now, piggybacking off of schooling, your anti-bully rally. Let's talk about what's that doing and how that came about for you.
I actually went to a rally and at the junior high school here, and I saw the rally and I was like, man, that's amazing. I love how they did it. But I wanted to put kind of like my spin on it. And then even before seeing the rally, I was just watching on social media how it just seemed like every other week some child was taking their life over, and the one that really got me was when this child went to class to learn, but other kids put on the child's desk, we wish you would kill yourself. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And then the child was hanging, from his room when the parents got home. And that just did something to me. So and then going to see the anti-bullying rally at the school, it just made me say, hey, I'm a writer. And I realized that people learn a lot through the arts. So I wanted to merge the two and put music in it to capture the young audience. And so we started the sueham anti-bullying rallies where we incorporated music, acting, and speakers. Because one thing I do know, kids don't want people talking at them.
No.
And one of the things that I learned through our rallies is that when we did the actual skits, the kids really received it because now they could see themselves or they could see one of their friends who were bullied, and it impacts them in a different way. It's the same as us watching a movie, right?
Yes.
And we're seeing ourselves on the screen or a TV show. We're seeing ourselves on the screen. You're like, I can identify with that. Oh my God, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know I looked like that, or I made that person feel like that. And so, that was the reason why we did it, and that's the reason of how we do it is to impact kids more. And it was very successful. And of course, once again, COVID shut things down. But we're looking to launch that again because bullying is still going on, not just with kids, but also with adults.
You can say that again.
And our anti-bullying rally also led to our stage play, Beautiful Minds, which is a play about anti-bullying, self-love, acceptance, forgiveness. And it's amazing how we had a lot of adults coming to us after that particular play telling us how that play impacted them and reminded them of how they were being bullied in adulthood as well as childhood.
That's a mouthful.
It is because, I'm just like, wow. And initially, I was like, how do you get bullied as an adult until someone tried to bully me? And then they realized quickly, I'm not the one. I smile, I'm lovable, I laugh, I do all of this, but what you won't do is push me over. And if I see you trying to push somebody else over, I will stand up and be an advocate for them. That's just who I am. That's who I've always been.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. And what I've learned just from working with the school, because I work with the school district, and also being in college, I have a minor in psychology. So in studying psychology and sociology, you learn that when you take certain positions, you become an advocate. You are a mandated reporter. And a lot of people, they take on positions and roles and do not know that this is required in what they do.
It comes with the territory.
Yes, you become what's called a mandated reporter, meaning that you have to report when certain things happen. So I mean, it's wow, amazing just to hear you say that, hey, I see this happening out there. I'm taking my platform and what I do to also be a voice for the youth of the community, because people say that the children are our future and the youth are our future, but they really don't understand what they're saying and what that really means. This is tomorrow's leadership.
Right. You know, I think there are 7 pillars of influence, and the arts, entertainment, business, media, politics, they're all a part of that pillar. So if we can get positive, great people in, that are reflecting positive, great things, we can change this world. So if we can get the media to show more positive things, right, then people won't try to do negative things to go viral. They'll do positive things to go viral, because more people are in tune in that. If we can get the arts to showcase how we should treat each other, then we will normalize kindness, and equity and fairness. When we can portray that in the arts and so on and so on, in the business, in religion, in politics. So for me, for the platforms that I am on, I feel a huge responsibility to do that. Am I always going to be right? No, but I'm striving to do the right thing. If I misstep, I have no problem with saying, hey, I messed up. Please forgive me. Let's try this thing again. Let's go a different route and find the solution that we need.
That's the best way to do it. And that's how you learn. I mean, what they say, you got to fall in order to know where the mistake is made, or where the mistake is, to learn from it and grow from it. So this has definitely been a great experience. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, hon.
And definitely let our people know where they can reach you.
Well, yeah, sure. For everything, you can go to sueham.com. Anything dealing with the arts, sueham.com. If you're looking for more on real estate investment, you can go to moneywithrealestate.com. And all of my social media platforms are connected on both of those websites.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
You can also find this interview on our YouTube under Sheen Magazine. You can subscribe to our www.sheenmagazine.com for our digital subscriptions or for our printed subscriptions. Again, this is Sueham here with us live, Sheen Magazine. I'm your host, Corial Cooper, and your journalist. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon.